Before I move on from the NBA, there's two topics that I want to touch on. One is Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, he looks fat.
Derapy. This might seem random, but I promise you it is not. I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm a huge Stephen A. Smith fan. I was a big Zion fan when he was coming out into the NBA. I saw all the highlights from high school to college, the dunks, the strength, him busting out of his shoe. I always thought he was going to be great. But now, as Stephen A. Smith says, the guy just looks a little out of place, out of shape. I'm going to let Stephen A. Smith describe it, and we're just going to kind of break down what he's talking about, maybe view a couple clips to kind of put what's going on here into context. So let's get into it.
He looks fat. He looks fat, my brother.
In Christ.
You've been in the news for some other stuff. Your proclivities and who you want to mess with and all that other stuff is your damn business. We ain't got to get into all of that, but this is necessary. Zion Williamson went to the free throw line the other day en route while LeBron James had dropped 30 in 3 quarters and had completely dominated and looked in peak physical condition and looked like an absolute stud and superstar and marquee. Zion Williamson, who's more than 15 years younger.
1, 5.
But 40 pounds heavier.
4,
0.
Went to the free throw line. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a belly.
So, look, I'm going to cut it right there. I think that this is a really astute point that the great Stephen A. Smith is making, okay? LeBron James is literally the oldest player in the NBA. Zion Williamson has not been in the NBA that long, but he is the star of his own franchise. He is the one when it comes to Pelicans basketball. He is 1 or maybe 1A, depending on how strongly you feel about Brandon Ingram. But he is the one with the mega shoe deal. He is the one throwing down thunderous dunks. He's supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the next one up. And it is unacceptable, intolerable that in a game of that magnitude, where he was playing LeBron James for the chance to compete in the inaugural in-season tournament championship, that LeBron is making him look like he doesn't belong, like he's out of place, like he is the old out-of-shape guy. LeBron is looking like the pinnacle of peak fitness, and then you have Zion alternatively, just simply not looking the part.
I saw a belly. A belly. Like when he took a deep breath, his belly bounced. That kind of belly. I mean, damn.
Damn, son.
Damn.
Damn.
What's up, Zion? It better not you got your ass kicked, losing by 44 points in a playing semifinals. Did nothing to lead and galvanize your team. Did nothing to show the man-child that you are and to take over.
The Lakers are not that good, okay? They're very good. They won the in-season tournament. They didn't lose a game. Anthony Davis looked phenomenal. LeBron James looking as good as ever. Still beating Father Time. But they are not 40 points better than the Pelicans, a fully healthy Pelicans team. There is really no good reason that game should have gotten out of hand the way that it did. We have to point the finger at somebody. And why not in this case, the guy that's taken up the most space?
But you look like you showed up to the game having just ate a buffet. Not something from the buffet. I said the buffet. Like you ate the damn table.
Some would say this is harsh. I am not some. Yes, Stephen A. isn't necessarily a comedian. He's definitely making a comedic endeavor. I find it to be kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to come out and outright say that bullying is a good thing. I'm not even going to say that in this instance that it is a good thing. But sometimes shame is the only thing that makes people change. And I made a personal decision some time ago that I simply was not going to feel bad for people that are very, very, very rich, especially in an instance like this where Zion's job as a professional athlete is to look kind of like a professional athlete. It would be one thing if when Nikola Jokic, who is the center for the Denver Nuggets, when he wasn't looking like he was in the best shape, or Luka Doncic, guard for the Mavericks, wasn't looking like he was in the best shape. at least he was producing. You can't look like that and not produce when it's literally your job. I had a conversation with my wife earlier today when I was talking to her about this Stephen A. clip with Zion. And I was asking her, yes, this does seem kind of rough. It's kind of harsh. But if you were being paid, let's just go low and say $30 million to stay in shape, you would probably be able to stay in shape, right? If that money was contingent on you being in shape, why would you jeopardize that money? Why would you jeopardize your career, especially with the fact that injuries are much more likely to happen to somebody of that size? Why wouldn't you want to stay in shape? Not just for the money, but for your health, you know?
It didn't surprise. I wasn't going to touch on this because I was embarrassed for him. But then Sports Illustrated wrote about it, and the New Orleans Times-Picayune local newspaper wrote about it, so it's public information. He's fat in basketball parlance. Not fat, because some of you out there, y'all give authentic meaning to fat. You know who you are.
Who am I?
He's not that kind of fat.
I'm glad Stephen A. Smith makes this distinction. I don't know if it's entirely necessary, but I'm still glad that it's being done because I think people, kind of like how my wife, when she heard this out of context, her first reaction is like, this is mean. I don't understand why he's going so hard on this guy. But here's the thing. Zion, if you saw him out in public, I don't think your first thought would be like, oh, this guy is clearly incredibly unhealthy and terribly out of shape. He's out of shape as far as professional NBA athlete goes. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I have a friend who's like 6'2". He's like the tallest friend that I have, and he's tall compared to most of the people I know. But in the NBA, he would be considered pretty short, actually. Certain players in the NBA like Kyle Lowry, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul. Oh my God. Every time my wife and I are watching a game that has Chris Paul in it, he looks like a little person out there, but he's actually 6 foot. He's considerably taller than I am. So I think it's important to keep that in perspective, but at the same time, me personally, as somebody that's 5'6" or 5'7", depending on whether you believe my driver license or not, I think Zion is a big person regardless, NBA or otherwise. And I think that's the point that Stephen A. Smith is making. There are a lot of people in the NBA that are around Zion Williamson's height, but most of them are not as heavy as he is. And I think that's a really important thing to point out, actually.
But for a professional basketball player who's 6'6", who the franchise is relying upon, there's a reason that when LeBron James was running and leading fast breaks, Zion was just standing back there. He didn't even try to run back on defense. There's a reason for it, because he was huffing and puffing. That's why.
Seriously, no excuse for Zion Williamson, who is editor Derek. Tell me how old Zion is.
He's 23.
For somebody Zion Williamson's age to not be running back on a fast break when the oldest player in the NBA is the one leading the fast break, get back on defense, bruh. I don't care how late in the game it is. I don't care if you were just attempting dunks or attempting blocks on the other end. Get back on defense, my guy. That's probably literally your man that's running the fast break. I'm going to need you to run, buddy. What exactly is Zion doing at practice? Like, what does he do on his off days? I don't understand how all these other players are in such good shape and Zion just isn't. Does he have a trainer, like a personal fitness person, like a dietitian? Like, I know he has it in his budget. Are there people that are constantly telling him, hey man, don't eat that? And he's like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing, like Miles Morales. Are there, like, does he show up for team workouts and while they're running sprints or doing their conditioning or they're on treadmills or Pelotons or whatever, is he just like opting out? Like, somebody needs to investigate this. Like, I don't really understand it, if I'm being completely honest.
Come on, bro. He looked like he ate the buffet. I saw him literally inhale, take a deep breath at the free throw line, and I saw a belly. Like Austin Powers, fat bastard. Like, get in my belly. That's what I saw from a distance.
Is this cruel, or is this just a man calling it as he sees it? You know, I don't think that a reasonable person would get frustrated with a comedian if they were telling a joke about somebody, even if it was at somebody's expense. This is what comes with fame and money. And I am not saying after watching this video or listening to this podcast that you should be like, you know what? This guy's right. I'm going to go tweet Zion that he's fat. Like, don't do that. There's no need for that. Stephen A. Smith is a paid entertainer. I'm an entertainer of sorts. I'm not being paid, but
We're not being paid.
but like, I'm not sitting here making videos about how Zion is fat. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm doing commentary on somebody else that's doing commentary. The point is, I think it's actual fair criticism. If Zion was not an NBA player being paid millions and millions of dollars, Stephen A. Smith and me over here at the little Derapy show would not be over here talking about his belly. But these are just the facts on the ground. We are watching what we see. If you're watching a character in a movie and that character in the movie is really big, like how Thor looked in Endgame, okay, you're allowed to be like, huh,
He's kinda chunky.
Thor is fat in this movie.
Lebowski ass.
That's a fair observation to make. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not real. That's a character. But Zion applied for a role as a professional athlete on an NBA team. So this, I actually think, is in bounds. And I appreciate how Stephen A. actually went out of his way to say this has nothing to do with what he does off the court as far as what women he may or may not be involved with, whatever baby mama drama there is. This is about the fact that his health, his weight is affecting his play on the court to the point where we can all see it. We all see it.
I wish that I had a scintilla, a speck of your talent. Okay? You're a bad brother. You could play, man. You could be a dominant force in this game. You don't have the conditioning. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know they got a weight clause in this contract. They got to. He got to be violating that.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
So he's addicted to food. It's gotta be. I'm speculating, but it's gotta be. It's gotta be that. When you walk around like that, we 20 plus games into the season and the brother got a belly. That means off season, training camp, preseason, and a quarter into the regular season. You still got a belly.
It's remarkable when you think about it. So this is actually a fantastic point, and I'm glad that we got here. So I have a terrible diet. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't really take time to exercise at all. 0%. I do not exercise, and I eat terribly all the time. Very little vegetables, like just really bad diet. And I probably drink a little bit more than I should. Like, I'm talking alcohol even. And since I began my job in January, I've actually lost like 20 pounds just because my day job, what I do for a living, I must be burning more calories than I'm consuming. So even though I am not actively trying to work out and I am making no actual effort to eat healthy, I am still I still look decent. Like, I don't walk around with people looking like that guy is fat. Zion plays professional basketball. He is probably burning thousands of calories a night, or at least he should be whenever he's playing games, and you would think on his off days he would be practicing with his team. So the fact that he still looks like this a quarter of the way into the season, and when his job title is professional athlete, how much food is Zion eating to still look like this? When his job, his day job, is to be running up and down the court, playing defense, playing offense, making passes, jumping, defending, stealing, guarding, setting screens, fighting through screens, jumping, catching lobs. Like, what are you, how are you still this big?
Gary Brecker, 10X Health, my man, you need to get in touch with this brother. You need to get in touch with this brother. We got to work on him. You know, Gary Brecker helped me. Got mad love for him. Okay, Gary Brecker helped me. He need to help you. He need to help you. I ain't getting paid to play basketball. You are. I'm getting paid to talk about it. But Zion Williamson, in basketball parlance, is fat. It's got to change. It's got to change.
So that is the end of Stephen A. Smith's tirade on Zion Williamson's his condition. And honestly, a lot of really, really important points made there. If you like content like this where I take a clip from somebody notable, break it down, and give my perspective on it, please leave a like. I say leave a like because I think this is going to be on YouTube. If you are listening to the podcast version of the show, please leave 5 stars. Love you. Mean it. Enjoy the outro.
I mean, the fact that you're fat says so much about you as a man. No long-term goals, no perseverance. You can't stick to a plan. You only care about yourself. You're stuck in your selfish ways. And none of your family members care enough about you to help you change. But they say Big T's the man, like that'll help him magically. Of course you're the man, dog. You motherfucking have to be. You have to be cool or funny just to get an advantage. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a single friend on this planet. I mean, fucking... Fat people make less money. They get promoted less. They're more likely to be alone or to suffer an early death. And I get pissed because you have kids and your children are going to grow. And it's a tragedy because being fat is all that they'll ever know. When your daughter was born, you probably weighed 355 pounds. If he'd walked a mile a day since then, he'd be skinny by now. So I don't give a fuck if I lose today or fucking lose the race. Bro, you can't win at life until you fucking lose the weight, bro.
Toronto, make some motherfucking noise for Rome and Big T.